to a pumpkin carving event one night for Halloween. There were many fun pumpkins there. Some are silly, some are scary, some are unique. Then I started to notice that some of these pumpkins started to look alike. These two look like twins. These two here look different, but they have a similar expression. Maybe they're doppelgangers? This got me thinking. Pumpkins are all very similar when they are first harvested, but we visualize an idea and turn this pumpkin into a jack-o'-lantern. We give them some type of personality. We wear certain clothes and accessories to give ourselves an outward personality. And like a pumpkin, growing and changing over time, we too change. But as we change, are we still ourselves? Am I still me? Let's take this video that me and my brother made.
Solve the cube.
What?
This me from 2 years ago doesn't have the same film skills as the me from a couple weeks ago, nor does she have the life experiences as this me, yet both are me, but they have become two different people. Time changes people, and film is able to capture glimpses into the past, into who we once were. If time changes people in vastly different ways, how many times do we change into other people within our lifespan? Each time a video or photo is taken of a person, is it a different person from when they captured that moment? Since some influencers post stuff pretty much daily, does this mean that they become different people practically every single day? This reminds me of how people perceive someone. One person can perceive you as mean, while another person can perceive you as a saint. There is a theory called the looking glass self theory by the American psychologist Charles Horton Holley, if I said that correctly. The basic idea of this theory states, I am not what I think I am not what you think I am what I think you think I am. What the heck does this even mean? Upon researching into this topic, here's what the theory states about social interactions. Identity is socially constructed. We try to understand what others think of who we are by interpreting cues people give us. This process is broken down into 3 steps. Imaginings of how you appear to others. 2. Imaginings of how you are judged by other people. And 3. Feelings generated from those imaginings. All these influence our perception of self. So this theory would suggest that every single person would have a perception of me, and I would have a perception of what I think they would think of me. That would make 2 versions of myself for every single person I meet. That's a lot of me's. But what about just the perceptions within my own mind? There is this theory in psychoanalysis developed by Sigmund Freud. Yes, this is the man that said that the penis is the center of the universe. So, needless to say that he is weird, and a lot of his theories have been widely discredited. I am interested in how he perceives the mind into 3 parts: the id, the ego, and the superego. The id, also known as the it, is essentially our immediate desires. This could be our desire to eat, sleep, create. The superego, or also known as the super I, on the other hand, tells you what's right and wrong. They are a major rule follower, ordering the id around. Then there's the ego, or the I, the judge, the one who makes the final decision. I like to think that the ID and the superego are 2 gremlins in your mind fighting over everything, and you are the ego. This divides the mind into 3 people, 3 arguing people living among your subconscious and the conscious mind, which sounds very tiring. Freud states that when there is an imbalance between the id and the superego, that's when mental illness starts to show. I can kind of understand that. If the superego becomes too demanding of the id, it can lead to burnout and a lost sense of self. When the id ignores the ego too much, that can amount to feelings of laziness and depression. Speaking of depression, there's a couple mental health conditions that fall into the multiple. When you're depressed, you might not really recognize the person in the mirror. Are you still you then? Or if you don't see anything at all, are you still you? If you have associative identity disorder, DID, there's many personalities inside one mind, making multiple yous. I think. No. Actually, DID alters can have their own names, ages, world perspectives, and characteristics, making them feel like different people, but they are one person. It's like parts to a whole, and each alter has their role to protect and help the host. They can be a way for someone to experience a normal childhood, a normal life, despite the traumatic event.
You were just a child. Was it your fault?
The line is pretty blurred when it comes to the idea of the multiple yous here. I guess it's up to the person and their relationship with their alters to really understand how they view the multiple and the whole. On to science. Quantum science uses a wave function to determine the possibility of each and every outcome. Copenhagen interpretation states that this waveform collapses into one of these possibilities whenever it's observed by a user. This would mean that there would be a possibility of there being a various number of views that only exist within that possibility, but none of them are real. But we can take this a step further. What if this wave function never collapses? In the many worlds interpretation, this suggests that every possibility, every quantum decision that we make will branch out into a new universe, creating a near infinite number of views within our universe. But here, in this moment, you are just you, and this is just a pumpkin.